When a woman you care about suddenly pulls away or ignores you, it can stir up a whirlwind of uncertainty, especially in matters of love and romance. You might find yourself questioning every move you've made, replaying past interactions, and wondering how to regain her attention. In this search for answers, consider the wisdom of Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches inner resilience, emotional control, and the power of perspective. From a Stoic vantage point, distance isn't something to dread. It's an opportunity to practice self-mastery. Instead of chasing after someone who has withdrawn, you learn to remain calm in the face of uncertainty and turn your focus inward. This approach doesn't advocate apathy. Rather, it embodies a deep respect for both yourself and the other person, acknowledging that genuine relationships cannot be forced. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In romance, this translates to taking responsibility for your own emotions, actions, and growth, while giving others the space they need. If she has decided to pull away, a Stoic-minded individual avoids spiraling into self-doubt or panic, understanding that any forced attempts to change your mind undermine genuine connection. Over time, you will discover that practicing Stoic principles in your love life fosters a sense of self-confidence that doesn't depend on constant reassurance or external validation. By keeping your emotions balanced and your perspective broad, you cultivate an inner fortitude. When you can remain poised in the face of rejection or silence, you become the architect of your own joy. This steady composure is deeply attractive, drawing others closer because it signals that your well-being is not at their mercy. In the following lines, we'll explore how to integrate Stoic teachings into every facet of romantic relationships, from embracing stillness to mastering self-improvement, so that you can flourish, regardless of her actions or distance. Embrace the quiet moments that follow her withdrawal, and let them become a wellspring of introspection rather than a pit of worry. When someone retreats, the typical reaction is to rush in with questions, confessions, or emotional outbursts, all designed to close the gap and regain a sense of control. However, a Stoic perspective invites you to pause. In those moments of stillness, you gain clarity about your own emotional triggers and learn to hold back from impulsive decisions. This is not indifference. It's deliberate composure, showing that your sense of self remains intact even when her presence is less certain. Epictetus reminded us that we suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them. If she's pulling away, your initial assumptions might paint this as a personal slight. However, when you embrace the quiet, you free yourself to consider different interpretations. Maybe she needs space for her own reasons, or perhaps she's simply unsure of her own feelings at the moment. Instead of jumping to worst-case scenarios, you allow the situation to unfold, while maintaining your dignity and self-respect. This practice of accepting silence can have a powerful effect on her as well. People often expect immediate reactions, lengthy texts, late-night calls, or heartfelt explanations when they distance themselves. By not responding with desperation, you stand out as someone who remains composed in the face of uncertainty. This calm energy compels her to look inward and recognize that your presence is both stable and not to be taken for granted. It's a subtle but compelling reminder that love flourishes best when nurtured freely, not demanded. If her pulling away has left a void in your daily life, channel that energy into profound self-improvement. In Stoicism, the quest for virtue, excellence of character, is paramount. Seneca once remarked that no person has the power to have everything they want, but it is in their power not to want what they don't have, and to cheerfully put to good use what they do have. Translate this insight into romance by recognizing that you cannot control her emotions or decisions. What you can control is your dedication to becoming a better version of yourself. Consider taking on new challenges or revisiting abandoned aspirations. Perhaps you've always wanted to learn a new language, master a musical instrument, or commit to a fitness regimen that truly tests your willpower. By pouring your energy into projects that enrich your life, you shift your focus from a romantic fix to broader personal fulfillment. This is not about appearing more attractive, merely to win her back. It's about genuinely evolving. Growth of this kind has a magnetic pull. When you're genuinely excited about your progress, that enthusiasm radiates outward. You become self-sufficient in a way that's not rooted in isolation, but in a commitment to living fully. Should you and this person reconnect down the line, she'll sense this renewed self-confidence. You'll appear not as someone who was pining away for her return, but as someone engaged in life's challenges and triumphs. It's an attractive energy that stems from honest self-work, making you more resilient and poised for any outcome. In the realm of love, emotions often swell to overwhelming heights. A sudden change in someone else's behavior, like withdrawing or ignoring, can ignite everything from anxiety to anger. Mastering emotional control doesn't mean stifling your heart. Rather, it's about guiding it with reason and self-awareness. Think of it as learning to stand firm while waves of emotion crash against you, understanding that your center remains unshaken by external forces. This is where a Stoic practice can shine. Marcus Aurelius advised, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. When you notice hurt or jealousy swelling within, pause. Breathe. Allow that moment of awareness to create a gap between the impulse and the action. This simple shift in your inner dialogue can mean the difference between sending a flurry of panic messages and calmly reflecting on whether those messages are truly necessary. When a woman sees you managing your emotions with grace, it communicates stability. Relationships often falter when partners become trapped in cycles of reactivity. One text triggers another. One misunderstanding spirals into a bigger conflict. By exercising emotional control, you break free from this trap. You become the person who chooses responses thoughtfully rather than reacting out of fear or frustration. This deeper emotional intelligence will not only help maintain your composure under stress, but also foster a healthier, more balanced connection if she does choose to return. Another vital dimension of Stoic romance involves honoring your own sources of fulfillment. When she begins to pull away, it's easy to fixate on the loss. The text she no longer sends, the calls you used to share. But this fixation often blinds you to the joys already present in your life. Reconnecting with your own passions, whether that's playing a sport, painting, volunteering, or even cooking, reminds you that your identity is not solely defined by her attention and love. There's always a risk of losing yourself to the relationship's routine. When that relationship hits a rocky patch, you may feel emptiness, as though pieces of your own life were chipped away. Yet Stoic wisdom counsels self-possession. Your heart might yearn for her company, but your spirit continues to sing through your unique interests and hobbies. By giving these pursuits the energy they deserve, you reaffirm your own wholeness. Engaging with what you love has a twofold advantage. First, it prevents your mind from ruminating on her absence, preserving your peace of mind. Second, it rekindles the spark that attracted her to you in the first place, your dynamic, passionate side that glows when you're doing what you enjoy. The next time you cross paths, you won't seem like someone who's been sulking in loneliness. You'll come across as someone who remains vibrant and fulfilled, regardless of changing circumstances. True contentment in relationships is rarely built on a single bond. It rests on a broader framework of supportive friendships, family ties, and community connections. When a romantic connection falters, these other relationships can help sustain your sense of belonging. Instead of sitting alone and fretting over her silence, invest in strengthening the bonds you share with people who genuinely have your back. From a Stoic standpoint, this approach broadens your emotional foundation. Epictetus often spoke about the importance of focusing on what we can influence. You can't force her to communicate, but you can choose to deepen bonds with those who are willing and able to reciprocate. A strong support system becomes a lifeline, reminding you that your life is filled with meaningful connections. In turn, this diminishes the weight of one person's distancing. If she observes that you are socially engaged, it also underlines your well-rounded nature. You are not a solitary figure left adrift by her absence. Rather, You're someone who fosters genuine connections and is open to sharing life experiences beyond romance. A dynamic social circle reflects confidence and approachability. It says that while you value her presence, you don't hinge your entire sense of self-worth on whether she stays or goes. This balanced perspective often inspires greater respect and curiosity from the one who pulled away. Self-mastery in romance isn't just about reacting well in the present. It also involves planning for personal growth in the future. When you feel that pang of absence from someone who is ignoring you, it can fuel a renewed drive to set and pursue new goals. These ambitions might be related to career advancement, intellectual pursuits, or physical fitness. When you harness this emotional catalyst and transform it into productivity, you're not wasting energy on worry. You're channeling it into self-evolution. Setting clear objectives fortifies your sense of purpose. Each milestone you aim for is a step that isn't dependent on external approval. The joy you experience when you finally get that promotion, achieve a fitness goal, or learn a new skill comes from your own efforts, not from whether she acknowledges those efforts. This independence makes your success more genuine and lasting. Moreover, this forward momentum brings a notable shift in how you carry yourself. Others can sense it. A certain sparkle in your eyes when you discuss your passions, a steadiness in your posture that signals determination. This shift doesn't happen overnight, but it becomes palpable over time. By the time she sees you again, she'll notice someone who has grown in both confidence and capability. Someone who isn't stranded in limbo waiting for her next move. That evolution stands as proof that your inner life flourishes on your own terms. Moments of doubt can easily lure you into an endless loop of what-if scenarios. You might wonder if you said the wrong thing, failed to meet some unspoken expectation, or simply aren't good enough. Overthinking is a mental trap that can rob you of both clarity and peace. In a Stoic approach, the antidote to this mental quicksand is mindfulness, anchoring your thoughts in the present moment rather than drifting into imaginary concerns about the past or future. Mindfulness doesn't require a special environment or ceremony. Something as simple as intentional breathing can bring you back to yourself. Inhale for a count of 4. Hold that breath for a moment, then exhale for another count of 4. Focus solely on the sensation of breath, moving in and out of your body. If your mind starts replaying scenarios or second-guessing your every word to her, gently guide it back to the present. This simple practice of presence offers immense relief. Suddenly, you're not a hostage to turbulent thoughts about her possible motives or your own perceived failings. You become a steady observer of your mental landscape. From that vantage point, you can make calmer, clearer decisions about how to conduct yourself. Instead of sending that frantic text or indulging in self-blame, you choose quiet composure. And in that composure, you reclaim your agency and peace of mind. As you cultivate this calm within, you'll notice something fascinating. A sense of mystery begins to form around you. When you aren't frantically broadcasting every feeling or chasing after her validation, you create space for curiosity. Mystery, in a Stoic sense, isn't about manipulation. It's about preserving your individuality and showing that your life doesn't grind to a halt just because someone else stepped away. When every aspect of your day isn't readily disclosed or shared on social media, people start to wonder what's going on in your world. Paradoxically, this builds attraction because it breaks the expectation that you'll be an open book, forever chasing attention. There's depth and texture in someone who can comfortably stand on their own, engage in private reflections, and not seek continual approval. She might start to question what keeps you so engaged, or why you haven't been as quick to respond. Where did that anxious, overthinking version of you go? In truth, you're channeling the energy that once went into worrying about her into living a more meaningful life. This air of independence piques her curiosity, possibly encouraging her to rekindle communication. But even if she doesn't, you remain grounded, focused, and self-directed, traits that will serve you well in any future relationship. Physical well-being can be an often overlooked pillar of emotional stability, especially during times of heartbreak or confusion. When someone distances themselves, you might feel your appetite wane, your sleep suffer, or your motivation dip. Stoics remind us that we must care for our bodies if we are to maintain clarity of mind and resilience of spirit. As Seneca observed, a sound body helps foster a sound mind, which is crucial for navigating romantic challenges. Regular exercise, balanced nutrition, and sufficient rest aren't mere aesthetic pursuits. They're forms of self-respect. When you choose to prioritize your physical health, you're acknowledging your body as a vessel for all your experiences, romantic or otherwise. This act of self-care has psychological effects. Endorphins from exercise can elevate your mood, helping you move past the temptation to wallow in self-pity or bitterness. Moreover, physical vitality radiates outward, affecting the way you carry yourself around others. This doesn't mean you need to be a bodybuilding champion or a marathon runner, but striving for your personal best fosters confidence. When she sees you standing tall, energized, and composed, despite her withdrawal, it sends a clear message. Your life's quality is self-sustained. It reflects emotional maturity and quiet self-assurance, both of which can reignite respect and genuine interest in the eyes of a partner who might have taken you for granted. When all is said and done, remember that the Stoic path to love and fulfillment rests on self-awareness, emotional management, and the cultivation of an inner life that thrives with or without any specific person's validation. This isn't to say you should become aloof or detached from those you care about. Love, after all, is a gift, a mutual sharing of life's moments. However, genuine connection is only possible when each individual's sense of worth is firmly grounded. If she pulls away, it might hurt. Yet as you've seen, that pain doesn't have to define you or dictate your actions. Each step you take, from embracing stillness to focusing on personal goals to staying present, transforms an initially painful scenario into a powerful opportunity for growth. Stoics understand that adversity can be a catalyst for deeper wisdom and courage. When romance faces turbulence, consider it a chance to refine your character and become more aligned with your highest values. Ultimately, whether she returns or not, you emerge stronger and more self-possessed. The kind of person who, in Marcus Aurelius's words, is content with that which happens, for he knows it was destined for him and by providence. In romance, that translates to finding a serene acceptance of whatever outcome unfolds. Your sense of wholeness remains intact because it was never dependent solely on another person. And in that self-sufficiency, you become someone worthy of enduring love, steady, introspective, and resilient in the face of every twist and turn that romance brings.